Hello everyone, my name is River and today I'd like to talk about how I became a Kashmir Shaivist, also known as Trika. For those of you who aren't familiar, Trika is a sect of Hinduism. Hinduism, more properly known as Sanatana Dharma. And today I'm going to talk about how myself, an American woman, became a Hindu. My journey has kind of led me all over. I was raised a Christian at a very young age, but I never felt connected to that belief system. So later on, when I was able to kind of feel things out and figure out what kind of spirituality I have more of a connection with, I actually found paganism first and converted to Wiccan. It helped that in my upbringing, I had a lot of pagan beliefs from the start, because my parents, who are neo-pagans or Christian pagans, helped me kind of find my path a little bit. After being Wiccan for probably about 15 years, as I got older, I realized this path is a good start, but it doesn't feel like it's where I want to end, if that makes sense. Basically, I felt so many connections within Wicca that really spoke to me, and I decided through all of this practice, I love witchcraft. I'm an actual practicing witch. However, some of the practices, specifically for Wiccans, didn't really resonate with me as much as I thought they would over time. In the beginning, it was very beneficial, but as I got older, I realized there's got to be more to this path, because I'm missing something, but I'm not sure what that is exactly. As I got older, I learned more about energy work, and that's what I really felt connected with, was all the energy work involved in my practice. Once I figured out what my focus was, I realized there's got to be more to it. So of course, I looked into chakra work, I looked into working with crystals, things like that. I did that for years. I've taught many other people with similar beliefs all about what I knew, and they shared with me what they knew. And I learned so much, and they learned so much from me as well. I decided I liked this idea of wanting to help. I liked this idea of wanting to branch out my knowledge. And along my path, very recently, I found that over time I found that there was a power that was so much older, and I really resonated with it. It's a power known as the divine consciousness, which is also known as Shiva in Hinduism. Sanatana Dharma has showed me that there is so much more to my path, that I can still be a witch, I can still live my life to the fullest, I can live happily and not by strict rules. Not to mention, there's no fear of life and death. There's no heaven or hell, a reason to be good, a reason to be bad, other than karma and wanting to live a happy life. Basically, you be good because it helps your soul and those around you, not necessarily that you'll be damned if you do bad. What are the consequences of doing bad? Well, you'll have a very unhappy life, you'll be miserable, that kind of thing. So it's more so of living for you rather than for others. Sanatana Dharma has showed me that there's so many ways to live and so many ways to be happy, essentially, throughout spiritual practice, throughout everyday health, eating right. I've started my path within Ayurvedic teachings as well, which is a healthy lifestyle, healthy body, healthy mind. I've done yoga for years, and I've just kind of continued it and furthered it in a way that goes along with the Ayurvedic practice and fits well into my Shaivistic beliefs. Because yoga is not just about the physical, it's also about the emotional and the mental state within yourself. And yogic teachings aren't just about the exercise of the body. It's also about the meditation. It's also about connecting with the earth, connecting with yourself. This video is just to kind of see how my journey goes. I'm dabbling in very slightly at the moment, and I plan on going further. I'm enjoying what I've learned. I'm enjoying Shaivism, Trika, and I often hear from many that it can be very overwhelming because there's no one Bible or a sacred text. There are many sacred texts. They're known as the Vedas. But figuring out where to start when you aren't born in India can be kind of a handful, kind of a hassle, and there can be stress behind it. So I wanted to help others who find the same connections or just want to learn about Trika or about anything within Saratana Dharma that can help them just kind of broaden their horizons to figure out what to learn. There's really nothing like that you shouldn't learn within Saratana Dharma, because everything has a moral, everything has a reason for its story, a reason for its tale. It's just figuring out what it all means. When I got started, I learned from someone who said the best way to learn is through a guru. Right now, I'm just going to mention that I was lost. I was like, a guru as in like a spiritual person? That's exactly it. Someone who can call themselves like an expert in a way. Someone who has devoted their whole life to their practice and want to teach others. That is a guru. Someone who is like very enlightened in their knowledge and want to share this knowledge. So I found my guru not in like a physical way. I found them through works of writing. I found them through different media sources that could point me in the right directions to their literature. And that's how I found my guru, Swami Lakshmanju. His texts are inspirational to me in the way that they point you to how to learn things for someone who speaks English, can't read Sanskrit, and wants to still get the same amount of knowledge out of the text as those who read the Vedas. Nothing will replace reading the Vedas, and I do plan on reading them one day, but right now, as a beginner, just getting started, Lakshmanju has taught me so much already. He's got plenty of literature that I do wish to read, but at the moment I'm starting out with a book taught by one of his predecessors. This is The Yoga of Kashmir Shaivism. Consciousness is everything. And what that means is Shaivism is the belief of Shiva, and consciousness is essentially what Shiva is. Think of him as a ball of energy, and this ball of energy is within all of us. It's in all living things, and it's known as the divine consciousness. It is in the universe. It is what created the universe, essentially. So this book goes into, it starts out with explaining meditation. It starts out with explaining how someone who was not born in India can still be just as spiritual as those who were raised Hindu. And then after this book, he also has a page in here, this one specifically, that states all the different types of readings that you can do. So he lists all these other texts that are in English here. So that's why I really like Swami Shankarananda. He's got so many amazing ways of explaining things that are very, very simple, and he uses lots of examples to get people started. So if you find yourself fascinated in Trika or Kashmir Shaivism, this is a very good book to start with. But there's really no one way to start. You can start wherever you want. You can start with the Shiva Sutras. You can start with just simple meditation and then learn how to incorporate the teachings of Shaivism or any Hinduism sect that you find resonates with you in as you go. In this channel specifically, I'm going to focus on Shaivism, but just know that what I say in way of teachings can be universal within Hinduism. I hope you found this video interesting and inspirational. I know I listen to other YouTubers talk about their paths and how they came across it, and I was still like, no one has like a definitive way to start. Everyone says, research everything you can. And that was kind of the same way with Wicca too, but at least Wicca has a lot of books for beginners, things like that. When it comes to Saratana Dharma, there's really no, this is the book for beginners. It's more like, here's some guidelines to start with. Here's some morals and principles that we learned from the Vedas that are put into this book to where you can try and get the basics. But then that's broken up into like 5 other series and things like that. So there's no like one text to live by or one book that just kind of fills you in on all those stories. We learn from speaking with each other. I've made friends from India who have told me their stories, have told me Like, for example, I have one friend who was raised Hindu, then later on he no longer wanted to kind of practice anymore, or he wasn't as active anymore, and then as he became an adult, after he got married and everything, the inspiration of his traditional Hindu wedding, his traditional Indian wedding, and everything just kind of re-sparked his excitement for his spirituality. And then when we became friends, he was all like, hey, it's so nice to meet an American woman who knows what, even if it's just a little bit, about Saratana Dharma. But he's like, I'm actually kind of amazed how much you've learned in such a short amount of time. So that's why I want to help others who want to learn, who want to get started, even if they don't want to be Trika, at least get started within Saratana Dharma. However, I'm going to focus on Trika. So thank you so much for listening to me ramble on about how I got started. I'll probably have some more in-depth stories later on throughout my videos. I'll do a video about Ayurveda. I'll do my journey across a few months that I've started. I will do videos on spiritual practices and rituals, and we'll start from there. So thank you all for listening. I'm glad you found my video. Thank you for watching.